Sorry for the late start. Um, I got home late yesterday from the Warriors game and could not fall asleep because we lost to the New York Knicks. And if you don't follow sports, the New York Knicks are, well, until yesterday, most believed the worst basketball team in the NBA. And I don't think you can say that anymore. The Golden State Warriors lost to the New York Knicks by 2 points in overtime. And yeah, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. So I actually slept in till 8:30 this morning, which I haven't done for like probably 10 years. But again, I didn't go to bed till 2, which that's very unusual for me. So, anyways, still did my daily routine, got up, got a whole bunch of notes for you, and we're going to talk about them. So, first and foremost, I think we're having a pretty good week with these daily updates because we've nailed a couple of these kind of trends. First and foremost, we talked about on Monday about this compelling event, this trade war, December 15th, which is Sunday, I think, being a big deal. We were going to hold that on lock. We expected noise during the week, which we got. And lo and behold, the man at the top sends out a tweet. I guess earlier this morning, it was 6:30, I think, at least 6:30. Actually, I don't know if it was Eastern or Pacific. I didn't check the time zone. Anyways, he sent out a tweet earlier that said we're very close to a quote unquote big deal with China. They're meeting, I'm assuming, somewhere in DC today to really see if they can iron things out. I do believe, as I said before, that December 15th is a compelling event. It forces behavior, it forces discussion. I don't think either side wants to implement those, but we are willing to implement those, which is key. Uh, and I'm glad to see that. So I suspect something gets done. I don't know if they do the whole ceremony, the pin signing, and all of that. But I suspect, again, if it goes this way, that we will cancel the December 15th tariffs. I suspect we will roll back some, if not, I guess we'll roll back some of the tariffs. We will, of course, lead with a statement saying if China doesn't behave in good faith or blah, 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 we will bring them back quickly, which is fair. I just don't know, other than agreeing to buy food, which frankly they need for their citizens, maybe some agreement around technology. I'm not sure what else China is going to give. So, again, I think we're looking for more imports. We're looking for China to open their market, things of that nature. So, it will be interesting. Next up, we nailed the interest rates, right? We said, I think it was Tuesday, where we expected the Fed to keep rates flat, unchanging throughout 2020. It is very clear in their statement yesterday that they have no intention of raising in 2020. Again, if they're going to raise or change, it will be in the first half. They're not touching the rates in the second half, given the national election. So they're basically saying, unless inflation comes roaring back, we're not moving. So again, for real estate professionals and investors, that's good. Rates will stay low. We will be able to make informed decisions, maybe refi some debt. Remember, just yesterday, I think it was, we talked about $37 billion in cash out refis. I suspect that trend continues. So it is going to be interesting. One kind of, I don't know, depending on how you look at it, negative news bit hit this morning, and that is weekly jobless claims spiked to the highest level since September 30th, 2017. I look at that and say, that's the Thanksgiving break. It was late this year, a lot of noise in the system. Just the other day, it was just the week before, it was the lowest on record. I think it was 202 if I read the article right or remember it correctly. So just a noisy number. Throw it out. Frankly, throw it out until January and see where we are. So that's what I think about that. Um, I did see that Southwest Airlines did come to an agreement with Boeing around the 737 Supermax or Max. This is interesting because if you've ever read the Southwest story, they rely solely on the 737 Boeing. airplane because they use it to keep their, I don't know, repairs and maintenance things similar in pilots. That way they don't have to change everything, right? If you have different airlines or pilot, um, different types of airplanes, you need different certified pilots and maintenance people and all of that. So the max grounding has hurt them substantially, and it looks like they got um, an agreement from Boeing for some cost concessions, and so much so that they're going to give back to employees $150 million, which I was like, wow, that they got something from Boeing for sure. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. And then the other thing to realize is the Supermax has been grounded for 10 months. I had it didn't seem that long to me, but 10 months. And again, I go back to yesterday when I said, what is happening to these airplanes? Are they just sitting outside becoming big, huge rust buckets? At what point do we have to worry about them just being bad to fly in because they're not being taken care of? And I do wonder how often you have to fly it. Is it like a car where you need to turn the engine on every once in a while? It's gonna be interesting. When at what point do those planes become just not worth flying, right? I don't know. Then we had someone, you see on CNBC all the time, Art Hogan, if you know him. He set his 2020 target, and he's the first one I saw with double-digit gains. I think that's pretty. That's a big number, right? Oh, thank you for watching my videos. I'm sorry, I missed your name. My bad. Looks like Art Hogan set the target at 34.50, and again 10% up. I think it's interesting. I think by setting a target like that, the only way you get to that, which is certainly possible, but here are the things that have to happen, right? The Fed has to stay on hold for the year. Check. I think you got that. The trade war has to be done and have no flare ups. I think that's a likely scenario. Because I think people have learned, both people meaning China and the U.S. have learned a trade war is bad for both economies, and it hurts their people. That's really what this is about, hurts their people. And then the other thing, I think it's no change um, in the White House. I think that's what that means. And I'm not, who knows, right? We don't even know who's running against who at this point. But I think if you're going to put a 10% target of growth next year, that's what you're assuming. Rates stay unchanged. No, the trade war gets done and no flare-ups, and there's no change in the White House. That's the only way I think you can get there. Um, and again, I'm not making that call. That's not my choice. But again, that's how I think you get there. And then the last thing I want to talk about is looks like Saudi Aramco, uh, second day of trading, just went above a $2 trillion market cap. The next biggest is Apple. I think it's just over $1 trillion. So it is interesting to see uh, that the what I took from the article. Again, I was very clear that I couldn't see myself ever putting money in a company like that, uh, given that I sort of feel like they hate us, but whatever. Um, is it sounded like they had a lot of internal country demand, which makes total sense, right? It's the most profitable company trading on that exchange and possibly trading in the world. And it didn't look like there was a lot of foreign demand, which is interesting. So, in the end, that's what I took from today. Again, sorry for getting started late. I just couldn't get that horrible loss out of my head. Um, you lost to the New York Knicks, Warriors. Come on, you're better than that. What's up? But again, looks like we are going to head into what could be a really good week. We can get a trade deal done. I will be interesting to see what China brings. Interest rate will be on hold for 2020. Makes me very happy because I can make my real estate decisions, both purchases and refis, however I see fit. And it's going to be, I think 2020 is going to be a pretty good year. Let me know what you think. And of course, have fun. And we will have talked to you tomorrow.